Okay. Good to see you all tonight. Positive energy. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you're taking care of your health. I hope you're putting your health as a priority. Welcome to Vegan Intel. This is my new priority. This is my most important YouTube channel. So I will be focusing a lot on health. For those that watch me on Pharaoh Said That, I used to have these conversations on that YouTube channel. I decide I decided that it was so important and I talk about it so much that I need to separate it and put it on its own channel. So this is a new channel, Vegan Intel. And I'm doing a total health over here, exercising, eating right, mental health, making you aware of dangerous items in society, toxins, and everything like that. Good to see everyone. Much love to my brother G Ross, Space Time. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. Danielle, Rastaman. Shout out to Body Sculpture Challenge, Quaylen, and everybody else. Queen, Jade, always a pleasure. Make sure you get a lot of people to come over. And um, so today I'm going to be talking about strength because a lot of people they say, well, when I go plant based, how do I stay strong? And that's a very good question. It's something I'm going to be talking about a lot. And so I got to give you the background story. I am 67. And for about 4 years now, I have been slowly getting into this fitness uh, mode, right? Because as I age, I want to make sure I'm still mobile. I want to offset things that you lose with age. And then I like to experiment. So I'm going on this crazy experiment where I'm trying to get some abs, right? But that's like the end of the experiment. The total experiment is to get in shape. I took some years. I didn't rush it because I feel like if you're older, don't give yourself no 1 month plan. Don't give yourself no 2 month plan. Give yourself a 4 year plan, right? Because every year you're going to be getting stronger. You're going to be getting healthier. So there's no need to rush it. You might be too old to put too much stress on your heart right away. And so for the first 3 years, I've been slowly building. The first year, walking, bike riding, stuff like that, a little boxing. Every year I turned it up, and then this is the year where I'm supposed to get ripped, right? Now I've never had abs since I was probably in my 20s or something like that. And so this is going to be a hard mission. And it's more difficult than I thought because I'm also writing a book. I got a lot going on, so sometimes I'm not getting a lot of sleep, so I'm not able to really hit the gym 2 or 3 mornings a week like I want to. It's already July, and so I got to see some serious results by January 1st. So I'm trying to hit the gym, and August I'll be just focusing just strictly on abs. August, September, October, November, December. I'll be just really crunches and calisthenics and stuff like that. But I'm doing weight. I'm still doing weight. I'm still trying to get my upper body stronger because I don't feel like I could really exercise if I'm not strong in the first place. So one thing about exercise, what I'm noticing is that it takes a certain amount of strength to even exercise, right? So in order to really do the more difficult exercise to get in top physical condition, you got to get in bottom physical condition. Like, so you got to get in some condition to get in more condition to get in more condition. Okay. Seriously, because you can't just get on the ground and do these crunches or do these push-ups. You're going to have to build up enough muscle to do the push-ups to build up more muscle, right? Because if you want to do push-ups to build muscle, but you can only do 3, okay, how's that going to work? And so instead of putting all that stress on my wrist and my shoulders, trying to do push-ups all these years while I was a little weaker, I used machines to let the machines do the work to take the stress off the body. So if you're older, I would advise to go to the gym, pay a little gym membership, and use machines first. Don't use free weights. Use machines first because machines take the stress off your body, right? So the machine has the weights instead of you having the weights, right? And then tone it down and only do 10, right? So find out your weight, right? That's not too easy or not too hard. Find a weight that's right in between. Do 10 and rest. Wait a while, do 10 and rest. You could do that twice or 3 times. 10 reps. Go to a different machine, 10 and rest, 10 and rest. And do that, just stick with that weight until the 10 becomes too easy. So let's say after 2 months or 3 months, seems a little easy. Now increase the weight maybe by 10 pounds, 5 pounds, depending on what machine, you might have to go 10 pounds, and the same thing, 10 and 10, and do that a couple more months and increase it, right? Don't go out there if you're older trying to do too much and have a stroke or have a heart attack and put too much stress on your heart. So tonight, I want to talk about what you have to do to build a protein. Because everybody asks you, how do vegans get protein? How do you get protein? How do you get protein? So now we're going to go through that. We're going to talk about how you get protein. Now, there's plenty of protein in plants. So if you're thinking about going plant-based, do not let anyone fool you by making you think that you cannot get plenty of protein from plants. Okay? This is false information. So don't let anybody make you think that you can't get protein from plants. Okay? This is false. This is 100% false information. As a matter of fact, plants have the best source of protein. Okay? Because the plants don't only have protein, but they have many other valuable nutrients while you're getting the protein. Okay? And so plant protein is by far the best. Meat has protein, but it also has certain negative effects on the digestive system. Our digestive system is a plant based digestive system. We do not have a digestive system for meat, regardless of what people try to tell you. Eating it is definitely something that only has been accomplished through engineering, meaning we had to get to the point where we could be able to cook it, to digest it. We had to, even as humans, we even had to get to the point where we would be able to catch these animals. We had to build contraptions, hunting tools. And of course, we was not passing up food to chase animals. Okay, so we were not passing up food to chase animals. Okay, that's not what we were doing. Okay, nobody's going to pass food that's already in the environment, that's already there for your consumption, to chase animals. Okay. Uh, Now you got to remember that going plant based is not a war against people that eat meat. Okay. And so when you see these discussions or where people want to debate uh, meat versus vegan, don't get in that, because many times it's the that's not productive. That's not productive to argue over that, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to take care of your health the best way you can, and so you're not interested in getting in a debate with somebody based on what they feel like they got to eat. Whatever they feel that they got to eat that's best for them. It's not for us to um, get into that argument. Okay, they have to eat what's best for them. That's right. So these are personal choices, and so whatever a person wants to eat that they think that's best for them, then more power to them. So it's totally up to you to decide if you think plant-based eating is best for you. It's not nothing you need to force yourself to do. It's not nothing you need nobody to talk you into. It's something you need to listen to and then consider it yourself, and look at the world and look at what people are eating, look at your relatives, look at other people, and then make that decision. For me, people that aren't plant-based, they don't look healthy at all. It's a small group. Honestly, the only ones that seem to be somewhat healthy are the ones that's trying to prove that eating meat is better than being a vegan. So they go out their way and they try to uh, prove that. You got the one guy that eats the raw meat, and he looks horrible, and he's young. And he's this big old strong guy, and he's be eating this raw meat and talking about that's what he eat to get that big. Then they found out dude was taking steroids. And he looked so old that his whole thing he was pushing is fraudulent. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can find him. He's like one of these, he pushes it, right? And he looks horrible. He looks 1,000 years old, seriously. He is not in good shape for his age. Okay? He's way younger than he looks. His name is the Liver King. You go look him up, the Liver King, and he looks horrible. Those steroids and eating that meat has totally destroyed his body. They shown a picture with him next to a vegan his same age, and he looks a mess. Okay, he looks horrible. That has destroyed his life, and he looks a mess. I mean, absolutely. He's been giving people false information, making them think that he's in this excellent health, but he's using steroids. You can look him up. I'm not going to show him or promote him, but he's definitely teaching people the wrong information. And so the idea that anytime somebody tells you can't build muscle on plants, always think about gorillas. Always. Always think about gorillas. Okay? And this will help you stay focused on the reality in life. Always think about the meat they eat, right? That they get their protein from. And think about how those animals don't eat meat. And so, how do you get protein from beef? How did the beef get the protein? The beef didn't eat beef to get protein. These are vegetarians. They're plant based. So the concept makes absolutely no sense, okay? None. So don't let nobody fool you. Think for yourself. The biggest animals are plant based. So you're telling me plants can get into this elephant this size? So this is total foolishness that whatever creator put this planet together made it where the plants are not sufficient enough. That's just totally ridiculous. Because there's only so many types of meat. There's many, 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 many plants. There's way more plants than there is variety of animals that's edible, because some animals are totally not edible. They're toxic, they're poisonous. So this is false information. But at the end of the day, you don't want to get in that debate. You want to try to figure out what's healthy for you. It's a decision you got to make on your own, and never get in debates with people. Never. Don't let people come into your space and want to debate with you when you decide to go plant-based. But the key is when you go plant-based, you have to do the same thing you should have been doing when you were eating meat. And the problem when we transfer to, like when I transferred to a plant-based way of eating, The major problem was I wasn't getting balanced nutrition as a meat eater. See? So I wasn't even getting balanced nutrition because I was just eating, right? So it was when I went plant based, this is when I had to start thinking about, am I getting enough nutrition? But I never thought about if I was getting enough nutrition when I ate meat. Never. I never worried how much iron I'm getting. I never worried about how much vitamin C I'm getting. I never worried about how much vitamin D, K, B12. Never. Right? Good to see you, Global. Right? So when I was eating meat, I was never concerned with zinc and iron and potassium. Never. And nobody I was around was concerned with if they were getting enough of the various vitamins and nutrients. They took one a day vitamins and didn't take those regularly. And so when I switched over to plant based, I wasn't into nutrition. You would think that I would have already been into nutrition, that I already would have been studying what nutrition I need. And one reason that you don't pay attention to the nutrition that you need because you're young. You're born as a child, you're growing up, and your body is automatically strong. Your body is automatically in shape, especially in my era where we played a lot and there was a lot of fruits and vegetables integrated into my childhood. And so my childhood was not a childhood of a vegan or a meat eater. My childhood was half and half. It was a meat eater and it was plant based too, because my parents came from Alabama. So we ate a lot of fruits and vegetables. We ate way more fruits and vegetables than we ate meat. As a matter of fact, I'm born in 1958. We ate more fruit than we ate stuff like potato chips and all that. That didn't become integrated into our life until you get to the 70s. But I'm born in 58. During the 60s, as Americans ate way more fruits and vegetables, especially Black Americans. So foundational Black Americans consume lots of fruits and vegetables in the 60s. And then the system, because the system was growing, so the snack industry wasn't that big. The snack industry got built in the 70s. Okay? So now when the snack industry gets built in the 70s, now Americans are eating horribly. Not only that, the fast food industry began to grow. So you got to understand that the bad food industry has been growing and the fruit and vegetable consumption went down, 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 down. People wasn't eating grapes regularly like they were in the 60s. People weren't eating plums like in the 60s, tangerines, nectarines, grapefruits, raisins. Your mother used to buy you raisins in the box as a kid. We ate raisins a lot. Children today don't eat raisins. And so in this time, 2025, if you're not health conscious and you just eat what's out there, you won't be in good shape. So today we're going to talk about protein. Now, there's a lot of things that you can get protein from. These are just a few. Hemp seeds have lots of protein. Pumpkin seeds, lots of protein. Tofu, lots of protein. And it doesn't have too much estrogen. Okay. That was false. All right. It doesn't have too much estrogen. Okay. That was false. Okay. That was false information that they gave us. Okay. What it has is phytoestrogen. You can look it up. PHYTOESTREN. Okay. Right? Wait a minute. TROGEN. Okay. Phytoestrogen. And phytoestrogen balances estrogen. Okay. And so there was a time where I stopped eating tofu, and I haven't eaten tofu in many, many years because they put it out there that it has estrogen and it will make men grow breasts and get too much estrogen. That was all wrong information because the science wasn't thorough. Now we come to find out that tofu has phytoestrogen, which regulates estrogen, meaning when a woman eats tofu, the phytoestrogen is going to regulate it so it works for her. And when men eat tofu, the phytoestrogen is going to regulate it for you. So we've never heard of phytoestrogen before. They just say estrogen, estrogen, estrogen. So over the last year, I have increased my tofu intake again because I came up on tofu because I was introduced to tofu at Chinese restaurants. And so that's why tofu is on this list, because I am now consuming tofu. They have been wrong. But tofu, chickpeas, walnuts, quinoa, edamame beans, lentils, black beans, mung beans, fava beans, lima beans, green beans, Brazil nuts, and a host of other plants have the necessary nutrition that you need for protein. Guavas, high in protein. Avocados. Guavas is 8% protein. Avocados is 6%. Apricots, kiwi fruit, blackberries, oranges, bananas, cantaloupe, raspberry, peaches. And you got to understand, you eat 2 bananas along with all the other things you're eating, and you piece together how much protein you're getting in a day. So if you are worried about your protein, then look up how much protein a human should have a day. Let's look it up. Okay. So it says, right? Let's look at this. So the recommended dietary allowance to prevent deficiency for an average sedentary adult is 8 grams per kilogram of body weight. For example, a person who weighs 165 pounds should consume 60 grams of protein per day, right? 60 grams of protein per day if you're 165 pounds. So let's say basically all of us need 60, 70, depending on how much you weigh, right? Grams of protein per day. Okay? Basically. So when you're talking about 60 grams of protein a day, that's not difficult to do, right? Because let's look at where you can get protein from. Now, this is per half a cup. So a half a cup of edamame is 9 grams of protein, right? So people would be like, well, you would have to eat, right? You would have to eat a cup would be 18. So you would have to eat 5 cups to get what's necessary. But you got to understand that typically when you eat this half a cup, that's not much food. And so you're not going to eat a half a cup of this typically. If you cook this, it's a high possibility you're going to eat a cup. You're going to get 20 grams right off the top. And you only need it 60. Okay? You only need 60 grams a day. You understand? So they're fooling you, okay? Because you can get 20 just eating a cup of this. Now you imagine you eat a cup of these beans, coupled with a couple other things that got protein. In one meal, you can easily get 30 grams. That's just one meal. Well, you only need 60. Lentils, 8 grams, and a half a cup. A half a cup of lentils. You're not going to eat only a half a cup of lentils. You're going to eat at least a cup to a cup and a half. But let's just give you a cup. You're not going to eat a half a cup of lentils. You're not going to eat that. That's no lentils at all. You're not going to eat that. Typically, even if you eat it with some other food, the least you're going to eat is a cup. That's 16 grams. Same for black beans. You're not going to eat a half a cup of black beans. You're going to eat with black beans, you're going to eat a cup and a half. That's a fact. Typically, if you cook you something to eat, you are going to have a cup and a half to 2 cups of black beans. Unless you eat like a bird. But if you're hungry like most of us, you're going to get at least 16 grams of protein just from the black beans. Chickpeas, 7, that's 14. So if you look, they saying a half a cup, mung beans, refried beans, fava beans, 6.5, lima beans, 5 grams, green peas, 4 grams. You're not going to eat a half a cup of green peas. You're going to at least get 8 grams, right? Soybean sprouts, 4 grams. As you see, peanuts, 8 grams for a half a cup. And the average person going to get some peanuts. They're going to easily eat a cup of peanuts. Nobody's going to just eat a half a cup of peanuts. it's a high possibility if you're sitting around watching TV all day, you might end up eating 2 cups of peanuts. You might end up getting just 32 grams just with the peanuts, just snacking on peanuts. You're probably going to get half of the amount of protein that you need to get. Potatoes. One large potato is 7 grams. Okay. Now, you might only eat one potato. Wild rice, a half a cup, 3.25 grams. So, as you can see, spinach, 6 grams for a half a cup. Nobody's going to eat a half a cup of spinach. You're going to eat at least 2 cups of spinach because when you cook it, it really turns to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So if you take a half a cup of raw spinach, when you cook that, that ain't going to even be a quarter of a cup of spinach, but it really was a half a cup. So easily, you're gonna get 30 plus grams just out your spinach with your dinner. Brussels sprouts, 5.5 grams for a half a cup. A half a cup of Brussels sprouts is not this many Brussels sprouts. A half a cup of Brussels sprouts is gonna be 5 or 6 probably. You know what I'm saying? They kind of big. And so, yeah, I can see you eating maybe 5 or 6 Brussels sprouts with the rest of your food. So I can see you maybe only getting 5 grams. Sweet potatoes. They say one large sweet potato is 5 grams. I can see you just eating one sweet potato. And so if you look at these numbers, you're easily going to get 25 to 30 grams of protein with one meal. Okay? With one meal. You're gonna get that. With just one meal and snacks, you're gonna get that easily. What if you have broccoli with your beans? What if you have kale with your beans? What if you have a salad and you got romaine lettuce with your beans and your peas? And so when you look at a combination of the foods you're going to eat, you're going to you can easily get over 30 grams of protein, 30 or 40 grams of protein just at dinner. Because the key is you can't eat like a bird. You're a human being. So you got to eat. I know a lady, she's vegan, but she tried to eat like a bird. And I keep telling her she's older. And I keep telling her, you're not eating enough food. Even if you was a meat eater, you're not going to survive eating this little bit of food. You're going to have to make yourself eat more because they just don't eat that much. And I said, this is just not going to work. You know what I'm saying? You got to eat. Okay, you've always had to eat. And so when I grew up as a meat eater, but you had to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, that was standard, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You couldn't just eat a little bit, nibble on something, and a small little dinner. No. Breakfast was filling, lunch was filling, and dinner was filling. And when you go plant-based, you got to eat. So you say the one meal a day thing, a no-no, one meal a day, right, it's going to be impossible for you to get 60 grams of protein with one meal a day. You could do it, but you got to eat a lot. And I don't advise the one meal a day. The one meal a day is something you should just do every now and then. So every now and then, it's cool to take a week and only eat one meal a day. But as far as year after year, eating one meal a day, I cannot see how that would be healthy for me at 67 years old. I cannot go to the gym with one meal a day. I have to drink a protein shake before I go to the gym because in order for your body to build muscle, you have to feed it. And so when I used to grow in Hawaii, that's when I learned about nutrition. Because when I was growing, the first time I grew plants, when my seedlings and plants came up, because I didn't know what I was doing, the stems was little. But the next time I grew and I hit them with a nice amount of nitrogen, the stems was way bigger than the ones with scrawny, the first ones. And this is when I learned nutrition in Hawaii when I was growing. The more nutrition you give your plants, they are far better. They have a bigger harvest. This is a fact. Unless you dose them with lots of nutrients, it will not produce the potatoes you want, the spinach you want, the squash you want will be small. Period. So if your plants are not getting lots of nitrogen, lots of potassium, and lots of phosphorus, your plants will be weak. And when I seen that, I was just a young vegan at that dinner. I said, okay, I get it. Also, you do not eat like that in real life. I lived in nature. I lived in Hawaii and we ate off the land. And when you live a natural life that's more like an animal, because I lived like in Hawaii and we lived outside a lot and we hunted and gathered fruit. When you go get coconuts and you bring them back to your camp, it's warm outside. You open a coconut, you drink it. You bust it open, you eat the coconut meat. Let's say you do that 8 in the morning. By 10 in the morning, you will be drinking another coconut. Let's say you go get mangoes. You will not eat one mango. You will easily eat 3 mangoes, easily. Because you're talking and you're just going to eat them. And the proof of that is when you get junk food. When you open a bag of potato chips, you just keep getting one. You just keep getting one. You can easily knock out a half a bag of potato chips, the big bag, in just one sitting. And so in nature, you really don't eat a meal. You really eat all day. You really eat and natural. If you live natural, you really eat all day. Small amounts that if you put it together would be a lot of food. So in nature, if you got a watermelon, you would cut it open and you would eat it till you don't want any more. But once you urinate and you get all that out, you're going to say, let me get another piece of this watermelon. So in nature, you will naturally eat over a half a watermelon if that's all you ate. You might do a half, but you ain't going to do no one slice of watermelon, not in nature. You're not going to eat one avocado. I mean, they could be anybody. People say anything, G-Rock. People say anything. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just some people said that. So when you say they, that's just some people. Other people say eat 3 times a day. Other people say you need this much nutrition a day. So those people that say that, you got to look at it that they're just a small minority. They are not they don't represent society. They just represent a group that say that. And so when you have these groups that say stuff, they're just a small group saying that. You know what I'm saying? They don't really represent the overall consensus of what you should do. You understand? They're just saying some stuff. But what they're saying, that's not gonna work. That's definitely not gonna work if you transition it, and that's definitely not gonna work if you exercising and you going to the gym. That's not gonna work. Because in order to build muscle, you got to feed it. You cannot grow anything without feeding it, including muscle. Impossible. It's totally impossible. And if you watch cows, horses, if you watch gorillas sit in the bush and they chew all day. Go watch some documentaries on gorillas. Gorillas will sit there and pull a big bush off and eat a leaf and eat some leaves and eat some leaves and eat some leaves and eat some leaves. And they be chewing slow. He don't just gobble them all down. He slowly eat pounds and pounds of leaves. Slowly. You would never know he gonna eat that many unless you watched him for 6 hours. And that's when you realize, wow, he just consumed that whole bush. Cows. What do cows do when they graze? How much do they graze? All day. They graze, they stop. They graze again, they stop. They graze again, they stop. Horses. Horses do what? They'll go to a trough if you got it with food. They'll eat. But horses, no animal eats once a day. Not a one. The only thing I know that you might feed once a day is goldfish or something. And they're small. And you feed them once, you gotta feed them till tomorrow. But if you got birds, whoever raised parakeets, and you got your parakeets in the cage. Me and my ex-wife had some. I had bought them from some lovebirds, a male and a female. And then they have their little thing with their water in it, and they have their little thing with the food in it. How often do they fly down there and eat that food? All day. All day. They'll fly down there, eat that food, then they'll go do something. Then they'll fly back down and eat some food, and they go somewhere. And then they come back down, eat that food, then they go somewhere. They do that all day until nighttime when they go to sleep. And when you look up, you got to put some more food in there. Think about it, G-Rock. What about when you got a dog? Can you feed a dog once? Heck no. Anybody raise dogs? You cannot feed a dog once a day. Oh no. Especially if you got like a Rottweiler or a pit bull or one of them big dogs. You can't feed that dog once. Because that dog eats based on their bowel movement. And when that dog eats that morning food and go have a bowel movement, that dog ready to eat again. I ain't never had a dog you feed once. A dog can easily eat 3, 4 times a day if you feed them. if he's going out and having a bowel movement, if he's a big dog. A little dog will nibble all day, but a little dog eat all day too. I used to have a mini pin. He will eat all day, but he just don't eat a lot, but he will eat all day. He will go to that bowl at least 4 times that day easily. He just doesn't eat a lot. So in nature, animals eat whenever they get hungry. They don't really, whenever they get hungry, they eat. Now, to eat once a day, you would have to ignore that you're hungry. If I ate once a day, I would have to ignore that I want to eat again. Because for me, I can eat twice in the evening. I can have dinner and supper. So I can make myself a dinner. If I have a dinner at 4 or 5 o'clock, I could easily eat again at 9 o'clock that night. And so for me, I would definitely advise you to eat more, especially as you start to age. As you start to age, you need to be constantly adding nutrition to your body. That's why many of us, we use protein shakes. So when I get up in the morning, I make a protein shake. I use okay. This is one of the things I use. I put this in a chocolate milk, this rippled chocolate milk made from peas. That's going to give me 8 grams of plant protein. So I'm probably getting 16 because I'm drinking a whole pitcher or almost a whole pitcher, 3/4 of a pitcher I drink. So that's going to easily be 16 grams of protein. I'm adding my protein powder, right? This has 20 grams of protein in a scoop. So with this 20 grams of protein, along with the 16, right? That's 36 grams of protein that I'm getting with one drink. They say you're supposed to get 60, right? I'm getting 30. I'm getting 36 just in the morning. Now you got to understand that that's a meal, but you got to understand that's a liquid meal. And that's going to pass through your body, especially if you're working out, especially if you're exercising according to what you must do in order for your body to move and function. You must move. You can't have a sedentary lifestyle where you're just sitting down. So if you're moving, you're burning protein, you're burning fat, you got to replace it. And so if you want the muscles to grow, if you want these muscles to grow, you actually have to feed them. If you don't feed the muscle, how is it going to grow? How is your chest going to grow? How are your abs going to grow? How is your body going to build muscle if you're not feeding the muscle? You have to feed the muscle. So in other words, you got your size you are. You're trying to get stronger. Well, how are you going to get stronger if you're not consuming what's going to build that strength? Some people, when they get up in the morning to start to build strength, they're taking cassava, right? 25 grams of plant protein in cassava. It's loaded. Vitamin D, 25%, calcium, 30%, iron, 20%, potassium, 10%, vitamin A, 80%, vitamin C, 35%, vitamin E, 70%, this per serving, thiamine, 60%, Riboflavin, 70%. Niacin, 60%. Vitamin B6, 60%. Folate, 80%. Vitamin B12, 130% vitamin B12. Biotin, 250% biotin. Pantothenic acid, 100%. Phosphorus, 15%. Iodine, 50%. Magnesium, 50%. Zinc, 70%. Selenium, 60%. Copper, 90%. Manganese, 20%. Chromium, 100% chromium. Molybdenum, 10%. And chloride, 10%. So just a scoop of this, an all-in-one nutrient shake. This is going to give your body the nutrients to function. Your eyes need a certain nutrient. Your hair need a certain nutrient. Your liver needs a certain nutrient. All the different parts in your body need various nutrients to function. Your bones need a certain nutrient. So it's not like just food. It's the various nutrients needed in the body, right? Watch this. All right, look. Let's take sea moss. Look how many minerals are in sea moss. 90 minerals. 90 minerals are in sea moss. Why are the fish and why are the animals in the sea? Why is there 90 minerals? Made available for these animals to eat unless they need 90 minerals plus. Let's look at the earth. How many minerals are in the earth? There are over 5,000 different minerals known to exist in the earth. 5,000 minerals in the earth. Okay, let's look. How many minerals does the human body need? The human body naturally requires 102 different minerals and vitamins to function properly. Sea moss has 92, and bladderwrack has the other 10. So sea moss and bladderwrack together will give you the 102 minerals and vitamins that your body needs. Okay? Sea moss and bladderwrack together will give you all 102 minerals and vitamins and minerals that the body needs, because the body needs vitamins and minerals. All right? So to provide 102 different vitamins and minerals for the body, you have to eat. You have to consume a certain amount of these things. All of these 102 vitamins and minerals are in the earth. So there is no coincidence that all 102 vitamins and minerals that the human body needs are in the earth. And there's no coincidence that the plant's roots are in the earth. So it's obvious that the plant's roots are in the earth to extract this ore that we cannot eat, to take the liquid from this ore that's made when it rains and when it waters these plants and turns these minerals into dust. And the plants extract these vitamins and minerals. And then the plants turn these vitamins and minerals into something that humans and animals can consume in order for us to be able to get these vitamins and nutrients that are unedible in the earth, because we cannot eat ore. We can't consume iron ore. Okay? So the mighty 102 vitamins and minerals is not minerals, it's vitamins and minerals. Those are two different things, right? Because there's only like 6 minerals that we need, but it's like 5,000 minerals in the earth. But we need 6 along with the other vitamins. So we need vitamins and minerals. Those are two different things. And the plants provide that. So when we eat so if you, how could you build muscle without the 102 vitamins and minerals? So if I tell people to eat once a day, how can I ensure that they're getting enough vitamins and minerals? Because naturally, when humans eat, they eat one thing in the morning and they eat something different at lunch and they eat something different again at dinner, which gives them a variety of vitamins and minerals. Because you're not going to eat the same breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're going to eat one combination for breakfast, a different combination for lunch, a different combination for dinner, which is going to help give you some of the vitamins and minerals you need. And typically, people, when you wake up the next day, you want to eat something different. Now, breakfast might be the same, but your lunch is going to be different. Your dinner is going to be different, which is add the other vitamins and nutrients you didn't get yesterday. You're getting them today. So by the time 7 days go, you're supposed to be then ran a variety of vitamins from different things you're eating and minerals into your body. But when you get to the point you eating fast food, You're eating the same thing every day. It's just made different. So you're not getting the vitamins and minerals and the variety you need in your body for your body to be healthy. And so I can tell you like this for sure. If you go work out, go work out. And what you do when you work out, just eat like you regularly eat and go work out. And if you work out, you're going to feel your muscle growth. Do that for 2 weeks. Then the next 2 weeks, do a protein shake. Pump a lot of protein in and go work out. And I guarantee you will feel your muscles grow more when you consume the protein than when you don't. That is a fact. This is why them bodybuilders be knocking down them protein shakes. Because you will definitely, if you put that protein in and you go work out, you get bigger, you get stronger, you get more cut quick. That's a fact. So there's no way I can increase my workout and get abs and stuff if I don't pump a bunch of nutrition into my body, right? So that's why I got things like hemp protein powder. I'm always mixing things to try to give me some strength. Also, brothers, you might want to get some black maca powder, okay? This has no protein in it, but this has dietary fiber, okay? And it has some iron and some potassium, magnesium, and zinc. But this is good for your sex drive, right? So you definitely need protein, no doubt. Now, I made my own protein powder. This is a new batch I just made, right, today. And I mix this with these. So I mix a little bit of each one. I don't use a full scoop of either one. I mix them a lot of times. So I got a variety. Now, let me show you. This is how you make your own protein powder. Check it out. Positive energy all the time. And today I am making my own protein powder. Now, I'm going to give you all a peek at how I did it, and I'm going to walk you through it step by step. I figured I would try it. This is my first time making my own protein powder. I seen a young lady doing it on social media, and I decided that was a great idea. I have my small Hamilton Beach coffee grinder, And you might want to use something else, but I've been using that all the time. So I'm doing each seed and each substance by itself. The first thing I'm going to start out with is the kiwi, because I noticed that the kiwi makes a really powdery, dry, powdery blend. And the hemp has a lot of oil in it, so it's kind of gooey, kind of moist. So at the bottom of the jar, I want to put the more powdery substance first, and then put the hemp seeds on top of that, so that way the kiwi will help dry out the hemp seeds. Out of the ingredients I'm using, the two that has the most moisture and the most oil in it is the hemp seeds and the pumpkin seeds. The flax seeds and the kiwi are the most powdery. So at first, I'm going to blend up the kiwi. Check it out. Next, I'm going to do the hemp hearts, hemp seeds. That way I can put them on top of the driest substance so it can kind of balance out. And when I shake it up at the end and I store it, it could turn the hemp into a powder by absorbing some of that oil and some of that moisture. So I'm going to do the hemp seeds now. Check it out. The next thing I'm going to do is the flaxseed. The flax seeds are kind of powdery too, but it does have a little, you can tell there's a little moisture in the flax seeds, but not much. But they're not as dry as the kiwi. So I'm going to do the flax seeds now. Check it out. Next, I'm going to do the chia seeds. The chia seeds and the flax seeds are almost identical when it comes to moisture. It's not much difference. The chia seeds are not as gooey, if that's a good word, as the hemp seeds. The pumpkin seeds and the hemp seeds are almost close. So now I'm going to do the chia seeds. Check it out. Now next, I'm going to do the pumpkin seeds. Because like I said, the pumpkin seeds retain a lot of oil. And these pumpkin seeds are extremely good for you. So I always put the pumpkin seeds in my protein powders. Usually I buy my protein powder and I blend up my substances and then I kind of mix it together with my protein powder that I buy from the store. But for the next 4 or 5 weeks, I'm going to try my own protein powder. And I'm not going to use that much of the protein powder I buy from the store. So check it out. We're going to do the pumpkin seeds. Now, to make sure I can get that moisture out of the hemp seeds and the pumpkin seeds, I'm going to do the kiwi again and put that on the top of the jar. Check it out. And now, because I really like the main ingredients to be hemp seeds and pumpkin seeds, I'm going to mix some hemp seeds and pumpkin seeds together and blend those up. And then that's going to be the final ingredient. All right. And that's what it looks like. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? So all I'm going to do now is shake it up, and I will have a very powerful protein powder, freshly made, that I made myself. This is the second jar because when I made the first jar, my phone wasn't recording. So I had to do it all over again. So this is the second time I'm doing it. But now I got 2 jars of it, so that's a good thing. And look at that. I'm definitely saving money. And I can make it like I want because let's say I start using some of the powder, I can go blend up some black sesame seeds and dump it in there. And so as I use it up, I can change the substance and add different powders that I make myself and give myself a lot of different nutrition through my body by mixing half of the powder when I get down to half with a whole new fresh powder and just shake it up. So I just wanted to share that with you all. I hope you enjoy it. Make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe, contribute to the channel. And remember, health is wealth. So take care of yourself. So that's how you make your own protein powder. It's good to make. You could mix it with your other protein powders if you want. Or you could just use it straight, right? So you can mix it. I usually use a third of each one of these sometimes. Sometimes I'll just use the cachava. Sometimes I'll just use the Travani. I use the Travani. And sometimes I buy a different protein powder altogether. And I mix them together. Also, you might want to go to Amazon and get these black sesame seeds. If you want to increase your protein, right? So a lot of times I'll blend those up. So I'm going to go get some of those and blend those up and put that powder in this jar and shake it up, right? So I'm going to order those tomorrow. And when they come, I'm going to blend those up and put it in the jar and shake them up. And that is going to even add more protein because black sesame seeds are a good source of protein, containing approximately 21% protein by weight. A 1 ounce serving provides around 5 grams of plant protein. They also offer other nutrients like healthy fats, fibers, and minerals such as calcium, magnesium, and iron. Black sesame seeds contain approximately 21% protein by weight. Okay? Now, it's very hard to find black sesame seeds. Very hard. You're not going to find them in the store. I searched and searched and searched, and all they had was regular sesame seeds. Now, I was introduced to black sesame seeds when I left Chicago as a youngster, a young vegetarian, I thought, but I was really a vegan. And I met some brothers by the name of the King's Chamber and King OG. At that time, we would make our own nut milk, which I'm getting ready to go back to that too. And we would get a blender. We would get almonds and soak them and then take the cover off. So you just got the white almonds and throw them in the blender and blend them up. And one of the things we used to add to our milk, when we made our milk, was black sesame seed. So we would use almonds, black sesame seed, and then we would use like some type of sweetener, right? Like maple syrup. Back then we would use honey or maple syrup, or we wouldn't use any sweetener. We'd put like a banana in it or some dates. We use dates for the sweetener. So I finally found these on Amazon, and these are very hard to find, but this is a big bag, so they're going to last you a long time, right? So if I were you, I would definitely get some black sesame seeds to blend up if you want to make your own milk or your own protein powder, right? Now, another thing you should do, pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds have a lot of protein in them, okay? 9 grams of protein in pumpkin seeds. And men, these are really good for your testosterone and to keep your blood circulation going for your sex drive. So you should, every day, if you don't blend them up like me and put them in your drink, You should just, even though I do that, I take a handful of them for a snack. Like you want a little snack, take a little handful of them and eat them every day, at least 5 days a week. You should take a few of these and eat them, just a small amount and eat them. Okay. Another thing, Brazil nuts. Now, these, you cannot eat a lot of these because of the selenium that's in them. It's a little much. So, what you want to do, especially men and women too, just eat one a day. One. Just eat one a day. Okay? They're expensive. They smell like pure vitamins and nutrients. But if you eat them one a day, this will last you for a while. So it's definitely be worth the money. So get you some Brazil nuts. These are very rare and these are packed with nutrients. Okay? These have the fat you need, the saturated fat you need, 4 grams of protein. Yeah, just eat one a day. You're not advised by a lot of experts to eat more than one a day. You could do 2 if you do 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. So just 1. Okay? That's it. Just 1. That's it. A day. And this has a lot of medical benefits, health benefits. Okay? This is a very strong nut. Very. Okay? I advise you to eat those 1 a day. And I would advise you to, these are Brazil nuts, right? See? 1 a day. Really good for men. Excellent. Anything that's excellent for men is excellent for women. 1 a day. That's it. 1 a day. 1 Brazil nut a day. Okay? All right. And so what you want to do is you want to exercise, okay? Good to see you, Rudy. You want to exercise. You have to exercise. You have to work out. Get a workout mat that you can put on the floor. Get a gym membership. When you can't make it to the gym, do some exercise at home. Anything you can get to exercise at home, get it. If you don't want to buy it new, buy it used. If you buy it used, make sure you sit it outside and spray it to make sure there's no bed bugs on it or fleas or anything on it from whoever you got it from, right? So you want to make sure it's totally clean before you bring it into your house. But spray it down, right? With some mint, right? Or maybe some pennyroyal oil. Put 2 drops of pennyroyal oil in a bottle full of water and spray it, right? And leave it outside because pennyroyal oil is strong. Leave it outside where you can watch it for about an hour or so. Let that pennyroyal, if there's anything on it, when you spray it with the pennyroyal oil, it ain't going to be nothing on it. Trust me with that, okay? Okay? If you hit it with the pennyroyal oil, You trust me. There's not going to be nothing on it. Okay? Trust me on that. But pennyroyal oil is very strong. Okay? Very strong. Pennyroyal oil. If you're pregnant or if there's somebody's pregnant, you cannot use this. It is almost one of the strongest mints. But if you got to go somewhere where you're a little worried about something like lice or something getting on you, like if you got to take a train or a bus or a plane, you might want to take a drop of this, put it in a whole gallon of water, one little drop, so it won't be too strong, then put that in a spray bottle. And before you get on the plane, spray your hair a little bit, the back of your shirt. And when you sit down, nothing will crawl on you. You know what I'm saying? But make sure you dilute it so you won't smell up the whole plane, because pennyroyal oil is very strong. Okay, so you might want to experiment with it to say, oh, this is too strong. If you put it in a bottle, it's too strong. Pour, 3/4 of the water out and put more water in till you get it where it's light. Also, you might want to spray around your bed before you go to work. If you live in an apartment building, you might want to spray the vents. You might want to spray around the bed every now and then to make sure nothing crawls through the vent from some neighbors that ain't that clean. But pennyroyal oil is what we used to do to get lice out of people's heads. So when I lived in Hawaii, in warm climate, they have lice problems. Mexico, Hawaii, place like that, they have lice. And so I use pennyroyal oil to get lice out of brothers and sisters that would get lice in their locks. I was the lice doctor. I would get them out for them. And I would just spray pennyroyal oil and wrap their head up with plastic real tight. And they go to bed. That's it. When they wake up the next day, I have them bend over and unwrap it. And you see all the dead lice in there. Lice problem done. Now take all your clothes, throw all your clothes in a bag, spray the pennyroyal oil all over the bed and everything. Then take the clothes, wash the clothes in some Dr. Bonner's peppermint soap. Problem solved. No more lice. Lice hate mint, but pennyroyal is the strongest mint. Okay? So if you do get some exercise equipment, hit it with some diluted pennyroyal oil to make sure you don't bring any types of bugs in your house, no ticks, no fleas, no lice, and all the other parasites, no roaches, nothing. Any type of bug is going to run. Okay, it's going to run for the hills with the pennyroyal oil. But you definitely got to exercise. You got to get out here and you got to exercise and you got to put in some work. Okay, that's what you got to do. And if you need encouragement, go follow the body sculpture challenge, right? At body sculpture challenge. Right? Go follow the body sculpture challenge. And all you have to do is work out, record your workout, right? Post it on your account, put hashtag body sculpture challenge. I'll find it. I'll post it on the body sculpture challenge page. Follow body sculpture challenge on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and then that will encourage you. You can watch everybody else working out. It's a challenge that never ends. It goes from year to year. So if you fall off, whenever you get back on point, It just posts again. So you don't have to post all the time, but post again. So I just had a workout today. I can't film everybody in the gym, but I did film a little part of it and I posted it. Okay. Here it is right here. So, check out the body sculpture challenge. That's a good thing. Work out and post it. That was my workout from this morning, where I went in the gym with my cousin Monday, and he works out a lot. So he had me doing different workout that I don't do. I don't know anything about working out. I just be in there working out. So he's like a professional. So he took me through a workout, and all the new muscles I hadn't been used. They was extremely stiff, and so in order not to lose what I gained, I forced myself to work out at home, and then I went this morning just to make sure I keep those muscles growing. Had a short workout, right? While I'm letting my body relax, but I had a short workout to make sure those muscles get used again, to do some of the new exercise he showed me. And then I'll probably work out at home tomorrow. I would definitely do some barbells. I'm definitely going to do some calisthenics because I'm trying to get some abs. And then Monday, I'll be back in the gym full force. And so I'm trying to really turn up my eating and my exercise, because I feel like every day you need to work to stay alive. I don't think you should take for granted you're just going to be alive. I don't think you should take for granted that you're just going to be healthy. I think the same way you want to make sure you got your clothes clean. You want to look good with your clothes. You want to have your car clean. You want to vacuum your house. The same way you do all those things, it's the same way you should do your body. And your body is more important than anything, because if you're not alive, then everything else, what does it really matter? How nice your car is, how nice your clothes are, how nice your home is, if you're sick and you're not that nice. And every day you're aging. And so the fact that you're aging every day, you want to make up for that depletion, right? So especially when you reach into your 40s. So when you reach into your 40s, when I hit 40s, I did a strong workout plan and I got really strong. And that carried me on into my 50s. But that workout plan, I started to depleting because I didn't keep working out. And so now I'm 67. I'm back on my workout plan, because in order for me to be able to function, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, in order for me to offset the aging process, of getting more frail as losing some of your balance. You got to offset that. And if you get older and you're not working out, you're going to lose your balance and you're probably a fall or something. You'll be feeble. You won't be able to move correctly. Your back will be a little funny. Your posture will get a little funny. Your drive will get funny. You'll age a lot. And so, especially to you people that's in y'all late 40s and definitely early 50s, you need to be offsetting that age. Seriously. You need to be offsetting your age. I got some friends, they're in their 60, 65, and they're so feeble and they're so out of shape that even their exercise is not really doing a lot for them, and they don't have the drive to push the exercise, so they exercise like an old person. You see what I'm saying? They've gotten to the point where even their exercise is like an elderly person. So the exercise is, like you're right here and you're exercising to stay right here. But I'm right here. I'm exercising to go up here. I'm not exercising to stay right here. And so a lot of elderly people, when I see them at the gym, they're just exercising to stay where they're at. They're not exercising to move up. And then some of them have waited too late. The body has deteriorated too much. And all they can do is exercise to maintain. I'm not trying to go that route. And most of them, the reason their exercise is limited because of what they ate. They've been eating not well, and they still don't eat well. So when they go exercise, it's only so much the exercise can do. That's it. The exercise can only do so much if you're not consuming life-giving food. You have to consume food that gives life. Plants give life. Animals that are not alive, how is something dead going to give you life? When lions make their kill, they're eating live flesh. Many times the animal's blood is still warm. Only scavengers eat the way humans eat. And so the idea you compare yourself to a lion or a tiger, that's false. You do not eat like a lion and a tiger when you're a human and you eat meat. You eat like a hyena or a vulture. That you're eating something that's been dead. You're not hunting. You're not a carnivore. You're really not a carnivore. You're not a predator. You're not that. You don't have that type of digestive system. I don't know what they're teaching people these days, but they're definitely teaching you the false information that's not at all correct. And the information that you're learning is the wrong information. And you must realize that we're still in a relatively young society when it comes to knowledge. And so this knowledge you're getting from these people, you got to understand, it's still pretty primitive. We're not advanced. If you study history, all you got to go is go look back at America in the 1900s. Okay? And if you're black, black people didn't know nothing in slavery. So you've only been free since 1970. So there's been no new information like that. All the information is primitive. Go study medicine and what the doctors used to be doing 50, 100 years ago. How barbaric some of the practices was. You wasn't spaced age like that. You've been learning primitive information. Now we got the ability to learn information like this. We got the ability to really look at what a lion's intestines look like and look at our intestines and see that a lion's intestines is able to pass the animals it eats because it's only 5 foot long. The stomach has a large amount of acid in it to burn teeth and hair and all that. Our intestines is 20 feet long. There's a long way. 20 feet is 2 basketball hoops through these small tubes. Common sense will tell you anything dry and tough, how are you going to push that through these tubes? The only reason your grandparents and great grandparents didn't have large amounts of colon cancer is because when they ate their chicken, when they ate their pork chops was in their intestines with a whole lot of collard greens, a whole lot of corn on the cob, a whole lot of black eyed peas, a whole lot of wet stuff. Your grandparents and great grandparents ate lots of peaches, ate lots of plums. Your grandmama and your great grandmama would get a bag of plums and she gonna eat 3 right off the back. Right away, she's gonna eat 3. She might eat just 1 peach. But you're gonna get when they buy grapes, when they go get grapes, they just don't got 1 little thing of grapes. They got 2 or 3 bushels of these grapes sitting there, and they eat grapes till they get tired. You would never see your great grandmother or your great great grandmother and father eat 1 grape. They clean by the time she get through the grapes, there's none on that little thing, and they throw that away. You used to be able to go in the garbage can and see the stems where they picked all the grapes off of it. So one of them stems with them grapes, they got 3 or 4 of them, at least 3. This is how much grapes they used to buy. They wouldn't buy 1 stem of grapes. Let me show you. Nobody would buy 1 stem of grapes. Nobody. Nobody back in the day would buy 1 stem of grapes. Nobody. They would buy lots of grapes. Lots of grapes. Lots and lots and lots and lots of grapes they would buy. Sometimes they would buy 2 different types. So you'd go, everybody had a fruit bowl, and the fruit bowl would always have grapes, and nobody eat no 2 or 3 grapes. Nobody eats 2 or 3 grapes. Nobody. So their digestive system had plenty of lubrication. Okay? Plenty of lubricants. My generation began to eat chicken and fries and bread. So we had no lubrication within our system. So now our system could reveal just how bad this food is. We used to be able to hide the damage of meat by surrounding it with vegetables and things that could help you digest the meat. So you never would really know how bad it was, and they could live to 100 years old. Because, but you would see these in the garbage, and you're gonna see 5 or 6 of these in the garbage before the grapes are gone. Nobody would eat one. They would pull this whole thing off, and each one person each every grape that's on here. And those grapes not only got the juice, but you're eating the grape skin, and that's pure lubrication. But still, they did not have proper bowel movements. When I was growing up, we didn't have proper bowel movements. Our bowel movements were still not healthy. Our bowel movements wasn't healthy. And sometimes my mother would be knocking on the bathroom door. I'm a little boy trying to make sure I'm all right because I'm on the toilet forever because I can't get all of this stuff out my body. I still remember that. And I never had proper bowel movements until I went plant-based. And when I went plant-based, that's when I realized, you're gonna have bowel movements twice a day or 3 times a day. Every time you put something in, it's gonna come out. None of that you're gonna eat this stuff, it don't come out. Meat eaters, they eat and eat and eat, but what they put in don't come out. That's why they gotta take Pepto-Bismol and Tums and all this stuff. When I grew up eating meat, nothing came. That stuff didn't come out like I put it in. Like now that I'm plant based, I say, oh wow, it's a whole different world. What you eat, it's coming out. It's not staying in you all night. What you eat in the morning, it's coming out. Period. Point blank. Period. And what you eat at 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, it's coming out before you go to bed. It's not staying. And so once you experience that, then you know how sick you were going to get. And then you realize why colon cancer is growing and growing and growing and growing. And colon cancer is becoming very deadly. Very. And it's happening at a younger and younger age. Okay? It's becoming deadly. And exercise also helps you pass those bowel movements. Seriously. And so this health situation, it's really not a joke. I remember when I changed. But right now, I would tell anybody, it's just like, if you're not taking this serious, uh, it's not a joke anymore. It's not a joke anymore. Colorectal cancer rates are skyrocketing in young adults. Is your lifestyle putting you at risk? In 2025 alone, there will be 154,000 new cases of colorectal cancer diagnosed in the USA. The devastating reach of CRC is global, with recent studies revealing that 1 in 24 men and 1 in 24 women worldwide will develop colorectal cancer during their lifetime. Since the mid-90s, there have been a consistent annual increase of 2% in cases among adults aged 20 to 39. Experts believe that sitting around and a lack of exercise and an increased consumption of processed food and red meat are all at play behind the rise of colorectal cancer. Straight up. Straight up. And so what you can do is you can argue with somebody and that's going to try to tell you to eat their way, which has nothing to do with your health. So if somebody come over here and tells, no, I should eat this and that, why would I listen to you? What are you saying that's going to make me put my health at risk based on what your beliefs is of what we can eat when the facts are showing that people are eating wrong? So how could you tell me to keep eating the way people are eating when diabetes is going up, all the cancers are going up? So you have nothing to stand on when you're trying to tell people to eat the same way we've been eating. Why would you let somebody to tell you to keep eating the way we've been eating when everybody's getting sicker and sicker and everybody's passing away younger and younger and younger and younger? Why would you listen to that? In a lot of cases, you're listening to somebody that's on their way to the hospital and they don't even know it. And they're not going to be able to come back and tell you, I told you wrong. I went to the doctor. I'm pre-diabetic, or I got colon cancer, or I got breast cancer, or I got prostate cancer. You think they're going to be able to come back and tell you that? Many times they're going to forget what they got on the internet arguing with vegans about. I would like to know how many people have been arguing with vegans that ended up with all type of cancers and diabetes and all of that. You can only imagine. Because how could you argue with the statistics and the facts that people are not living as long as my great-grandmother? People are sicker. 1 in 5 children are got pre-diabetes. No, 1 in 3. 1 in 3 children got pre-diabetics. 1 in 3 children pre-diabetic. 1 in 3 adults pre-diabetic. Children. What the heck is a child doing with diabetes? So look, send this to everybody. Try to save as many people as you can. Once again, here's a list of things you can eat to add to your meals to add more protein. Here's a list of fruits that you can eat to add more proteins. Don't let anybody ask you where you get your protein. When somebody asks you where you get your protein, this is how you know they are misinformed. And so trying to explain to somebody that is totally misinformed, you're wasting your time, because they're supposed to know that plants are packed with protein. They're supposed to know that. They're supposed to know that cows get their protein from plants. So don't let anybody ask you, tell you got to eat a cow to get protein when the cow don't eat cows. The cows is a vegetarian. The gorilla is a vegetarian. The giraffe is a vegetarian. The horse is a vegetarian. Okay? When horses get too small and they want to put some more muscle on the horse, they feed them alfalfa sprouts. They feed horses alfalfa sprouts to bulk up the horse. Now, alfalfa sprouts don't have a whole lot of protein, but it's got other stuff in it that activates the protein you are getting, and it'll bulk you up. Alfalfa sprouts are very powerful, and they give them the horses to put muscle on the horses. Look it up. They give horses oats to be strong. This is a fact. To build a strong horse, they give it oats. Horses don't eat meat. Cows don't either. Bulls and cows, none of those big animals, none of those big, strong animals eat meat. So like Gregory said, the meat you eat don't even eat meat. The meat you eat doesn't even eat meat. That's something to let it sink in. So if you want to argue and put your health on the line, that's on you. Because you got to be concerned with your health. And even people that go vegan that's not concerned with their health, that don't make sure they eat for their health, they get sick too. Because they're trying to save the animals and they just trying to eat stuff ain't got no animals in it. So they're eating Skittles and veggie burgers and fries. They're not eating for health. So when people say, well, those are not health-minded vegans. Those are animal rights vegans that say they don't want to eat no animals. So they eat all kind of cereals, all kind of artificial flavors, artificial dyes, artificial coloring. But those of us that are vegans based on health, we don't get sick. We are eating not to get sick. We study. We do research. We're not animal rights. I'm not an animal rights vegan. I became a vegan in the health food store. The birth of vegetarianism in the United States happened at the health food store, not at the animal rights store. Okay? Not at the animal rights store. It's happened at the health food store. Is the birth of vegetarianism in the United States. These are all facts. Anybody could tell you that was eating right can tell you that. Okay? Anybody from back in the day that was eating right can tell you 100% that was all done at the health food store. Okay? That's how these things started. Okay? Plant-based, vegans that used to be vegetarians all started in the health food stores. Okay? This is where we used to go. Not in the animal rights stores. And so this was all started based on health. Health was the key to eating right. These are the facts. And the main item at the health food store was the juice bar. where you would drink fresh juice. Okay. When I became a vegetarian, it happened at the health food store. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the health food stores, the many health food stores. Many are no longer in business, but this is the birth of health food. Okay. And we called ourselves vegetarians. Okay. And then they came out with the vegan society. And the word vegan comes from us vegetarians because we did not eat dairy products, and vegetarians consume dairy products, and we didn't. So they took the word vegetarian and made the word vegan. So you know the history. So the word vegan comes from the word vegetarian, where we just took out the middle of the word vegetarian. And we took the first three letters in vegetarian and the last two letters in vegetarian and made the term vegan. Okay? This is the history of veganism. It was an upgrade from vegetarianism, where they said, we're not going to consume any animal byproduct. We're not going to do eggs. We're not going to do milk. We're not going to do cheese. We're not going to do honey. But they took it a step further and they said, we're not going to wear leather and all of that. So some vegans, they don't use any animal byproduct. The ones that's doing it for the animals. I'm not an animal rights vegan, so I haven't taken it that far because I'm not doing it for the animals. I'm doing it for my health. And if you do it for your health, you'll automatically not be really causing animals no problems. Because you can get leather from an animal that passes away on its own. So you don't have to really unalive an animal to get leather. Originally, when we was in Alkebulan or we was in nature, we usually got a lion's mane from an old lion that passed away, and it was used as a symbol to keep him alive, to, not let his royal mane and stuff just rot and be buried. We would, or sometimes we would take him and we would stuff him because he was a great lion that used to roam and he was a mighty lion. So when he would get old, we would get him and we would stuff him and we would put him up somewhere, or we would have somebody make a statue of him. But we used to do it in honor for an animal that passed away. If a great strong gorilla passed away, we might skin him and stuff him as honor, but we wouldn't go unalive him and skin him and stuff him. We would get him when he was sick and passed away. And we would preserve his body and his hair and stuff him. So when we use leather and we use animal skins, we found animals that was already harmed and was already hurt and was already unalive. We didn't go and just unalive no giraffe to get giraffe skin. We'd find a giraffe that passed away and skin him and use the skin. You see? I definitely remember the carob chip cookies. Carob was what we used for chocolate. So originally we used carob before we found out we could use dark chocolate, and they started making dark chocolate with no milk. So after so long, they started using plant-based milk and raw cane sugar to make chocolate. But back in those days, we used to get carob was our chocolate. That was our chocolate. And we did not have sea salt also. So we did not have sea salt back then. Okay? We didn't have sea salt. I know that's hard for a lot of people to imagine. But back then we didn't have sea salt. Can you imagine? So people say, well, what did you use to season your food? We used kelp. Kelp was our sea salt. And I think I need to do a whole live on the history. So I will do that tomorrow. I will do a plant based history tomorrow because this stuff needs to be archived, right? For the young people that come into it so they can know the history. But yes, we used to use kelp. Kelp is what we used. Um, and that was our salt. You know what I'm saying? Before we got advanced and found out about sea salt. Okay. So this has advanced quite a bit, which is a great thing. We've advanced a lot when it comes to plant-based eating. You all have it way better. There's no excuses for you not to do better. You have no excuse to take better care of yourself. You have way better choices, way better choices you have these days to take care of yourself. There's no competition between how easy you have it today compared to how it used to be. There's no excuse for you not to be definitely eating way better. Way better. There's no excuse. There's just none. You all should not be getting sick like that. Not at all. You all should not be getting sick. You all should not be having all these health problems with all the advances that's out here for your generation. There's no way. There's no way you all should be getting sick. There's no excuse for it. It's way advanced. And this is what we used to have to use for salt. So there's no excuse for you all to have to eat and function the way you're eating and functioning. You should be doing way better. All right. So hit the gym, work out, get yourself in shape, eat to live. And if you're vegan, get the fat off of you, get some muscle on your body. Make sure as you age, you get stronger and stronger so you won't be tripping, so you won't be falling. And you got to make up for that age loss. So even your hair, as you get older, start doing more for your hair. Get Batana oil, right? From the Batana King. Uh, get Viringro oil for your hair. Uh, get horsetail for your hair. Use more nutrients in your hair. Increase what you're doing with your body as you age, okay? As you age, do more health care, right? To make up that difference. Do more as you age to balance it out. Just don't wither away out here, all right? tonight. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. Share this with everybody you know. Eat to live. Don't live to eat. And if you're trying to change the way you eat, go to www.veganintel.com and get the easiest way to become a vegan.
Peace, health, and longevity. If you want to consume more plant-based foods, if you want to abstain from junk foods, if you want to consume fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and herbs, and avoid dead flesh, artificial flavors and colorings, sweeteners, anything that is unreal basically, purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan by Pharaoh Ramesses El-Aton, who has been a vegan 40 plus years. He will take you step by step on how to abstain from the junk foods, how to abstain from the dead flesh, the chicken, the turkey, the pork, beef, and all sorts of animal products. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan, to eat more natural. Remember that the herbs are for the healing of the nations. Let food be your medicine and let medicine be your food. Consume of every fruit-bearing and herb-bearing tree. Unto you it shall be for meat. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan by Pharaoh Ramesses El-Aton. Peace, health, and longevity.